Welcome back to the show, Lemonade with the Seth brothers. This is your host Kunal with Smita Singh and I guess Kunal Khorana. Before the break, we talked about the medical challenges, adversities that Kunal Khorana faced as a young kid when he was just in 8th grade. Over the years, his complexities became so complex that not once, twice he was coded. What that means is he was actually not around. How do you say that, Smita?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, lost the heartbeat.
Yeah.
And just
5 minutes
for 5 minutes. I mean, that's, quite
But his
intense.
medical issues started with one of his kidneys failing, and then his mom gave him one of the kidneys. But in spite of that, over the years, what he's faced is truly heartbreaking. But at the same time, he believed in himself, believed in what his skills were, and that's why on the show today, we have Lemonades Being Squeezed by Kunal Khorana. Kunal, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so I know it's been a journey for you, having all the medical challenges. Walk us through your ups and downs and what keeps you positive today, because you go to different schools, talk to kids, inspire them, and get them to be positive in their mindset.
And has his own businesses.
Yeah.
Businesses, podcasts, I mean,
Yeah.
you're inspiration, man. Share with us your journey.
Thank you. Like I said, I grew up here in Houston. I'm 33, about to be 33 in November. I'm 32.
November?
Yeah, November 14th.
November 12th.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
When is your birthday, Smith? Number what?
November 10th.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
3
awesome.
scorpions over here. 10, 12, 13.
He's a Scorpio as well. So
Scorpio
there's
as
more Scorpios in there. So
Scorpions in the house.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes. So yeah, grew up normal, had a great childhood, was a star athlete, soccer, won a state championship, went to nationals, got invited to play in other countries. Really was on a great soccer path, and continued playing other sports. Like I dominated a lot of tennis tournaments and played that, and I just was always very fast, so that kind of helped me in most sports. And the plan was play college and then go. I didn't think I was good enough to play pros, but I said, college, they pay for it. I get to go wherever I want. Let's do it. But there was different plans in the universe, so I ended up getting kidney problems towards the end of 5th grade, 6th grade. I got kidney problems. I was told I have kidney problems. It was basically because it was funny. I had a MAT test and I didn't study for it, and I lied about having a stomach ache. And because of this, my mother took me to get to the hospital to see if I had appendicitis because my brother had just had one. And that's how they found out about my kidney issues. And it was funny because I went to go speak to a school and a kid was like, "Do you ever think that was your karma for lying?" Oh. And I'm like, that's a large karma for telling a little bit.
I know. No, but how truthful is that? Like, just honestly, like, kids are just so just honest.
Yeah.
And that's what he's thinking, right?
Wow.
These are young kids, Kunal. They're not adults.
No,
The first lemon was math test. You pretended to have some stomach ache. Your mom says, "All right, beta, let me take you to the doctor and see what you have going on." But of course, unfortunately, when she took you over there, find out that you have more complex issues.
Yeah.
Especially with your kidneys.
Yeah.
All right.
They just said, your kidney's not working all the way right, but you don't need a transplant. You don't need you'll be fine. Just take this medication and you'll be fine. So from then on, the medication, I was taking it, but as far as soccer and the amount of exertion that's needed, and a little bit the weight that I was gaining a little bit, I wasn't the same. I wasn't, and it wasn't. I didn't want to continue that way, and it really brought a bad taste in my mouth because all the parents used to love me. The minute I stopped performing the right way, it wasn't come to my house, come over for dinner, come to the coach's house. It was like throw them to the side. So and so I went and I played tennis, and that was easier. So had a great middle school. Even 8th grade, when my kidneys failed completely, that was towards the middle of 8th grade. And still, I mean, it was rough, but when I look back on it, I had a pretty good, fun time still. 8th grade, 9th grade, they said, okay, now you can have a transplant. So that was March 30th, 2004, I had the first transplant. My mother gave me that one, and worked fine at first, but then about maybe just a year into it, we were told the disease is coming back. And so about a year and a half later, the kidney died again, the one my mom gave me. And so then it was, okay, well, we need to put you on a different dialysis. Why don't we, because the first one was too harsh, why don't we do a different type of dialysis on you? So they fitted me with a catheter. And during that catheter, during that MRI, to fit me for the catheter, they gave me a contrast called gadolinium. Gadolinium is a heavy metal, and it's not supposed to be given, now we know it's not supposed to be given to people without kidney function.
Wow.
And there was, at the time, we didn't know whether the company lied, whether it was a mistake, what it was, right? The damage is done, it doesn't matter. But it does. When you find out that there was lies told and things hidden, it does get a lot deeper for you. And then when you're told, oh, the doctor didn't know, but then when you go to a hospital like Johns Hopkins, who now has no boat in the race at all, no nothing in the race, so they're gonna give me the honest. They said, when did you get the drug? I said, 2000, I think it was 2007. I think it was like, yeah, because I remember my last birthday I walked normally, it was my 18th birthday, so I got it when I was 17. The drug, and that was that January I got it, and by the summertime I felt pain, and then by November, my birthday, everything just went haywire, and I was in extreme pain, could not move, was taking mounds of fentanyl. I mean, just ungodly amounts of fentanyl. It was really bad. But then we went to Johns Hopkins, like, when'd you get the drug? I said, around this time, and they said, your doctor says she didn't know? I said, yeah. They go, she's lying to you. She knew. She knew, she forgot. And because they were like, she goes to all the seminars, right? I'm like, yeah, she's always gone for seminars. They're like, yeah, they talked about it at the seminars. It just hasn't been a official black box warning, which literally was done 2 months after I got the drug.
Wow, that's crazy, right? I mean, from the first kidney transplant at 15 and getting your mom's kidney, and then to at the age of 18, 19, you're not able to walk anymore, and you're going through this incredible life change. I mean, it's what was your mindset? Like, what did you feel as you're going through this?
One thing that I think the gift that I am able to do is I'm able to turn my brain off, and I'm able to turn off kind of emotion at times. So that's what I've done a lot of times. Is it healthy? I don't know. It works for me, but I kind of just, I don't know that. And also, my mom, she always used to just always let us know that, like, okay, look, life is this. We have it great. It doesn't mean it's always gonna be great. It might be bad, but life is life. You have to live it. You have to do what you have to do. So it was kind of that, and I mean, I went through my depression, and I went through a lot of mental trauma, a lot of things that I still deal with to this day. But
and that was multiple times. The first was falling sick, getting your mom's kidney, that failing, then having the issues with the MRI treatment where it was confirmed it was an oversight on the medical team that worked on you. And over the years, you shared that all these adversities were there, but you chugged along. Moved along. What was a positive reinforcement? What would you say to yourself on those down days, negative days? How were you uplifting yourself, Kunal?
I wasn't, though. That's when I was not. At that time, I was not. I was not.
That phase, it was just downhill.
I was drugged beyond belief. I couldn't stay awake for more than a couple seconds. I'm be honest with you. Like, I very, very, even through all that haze, I remember a doctor's appointment in Baltimore where I'm sitting there. I'm just knocked out every 2 seconds. And the doctor told my dad, you get him off this or he's going to die. You get him off or bury him. One of the two. You have a choice. And it was literally said like that to them. And I didn't get off for a long time after that because I couldn't. I was in a lot of pain. But honestly, I was so drugged up. I wasn't thinking about positivity or life later on or anything like that.
It was all negative thing happening.
Yeah.
Do you remember the moment when the snap happened with you? Where you say, I'm done. I'm going to turn my life around and move to the next level?
It wasn't one day. It was getting off painkillers first and foremost. So I could start driving. I was driving. I I had bought myself a nice car, and I was going out a little bit and having fun and whatever. But it just with the dialysis, with the age, I got more and more tired, and so I was a lot in bed, and I was watching a lot of YouTube, and I was like thinking about, man, you own property, you could take a loss on your property for 6 months and start a podcast in there. Why not? You now have an assistant to help you. Why not? If you're paying the guy, he's willing to, help you. He's willing to go out of the house for you. Because a lot of assistants, they're not willing to do that with medical patients. So he was willing to. And I said, you know what? With the internet, with YouTube, with all of this, I can do it from home. I can just do it anywhere. It's possible. And it was just over time. It was just watching. It was just watching podcasts and that's what I used to love to do in the hospital. That's all I used to do when I had free time. If I wasn't doing schoolwork or anything, I would always watch, interviews and things like that. And now realizing that I'm actually like getting knowledge for what I want to do, because my ultimate goal is a record label, is a music company, is all of that. I own a recording studio right now, so that's my ultimate beyond any goal. So not knowing that I was literally like just prepping myself, learning. I mean, I learned the whole music industry, deals, structuring deals, ads. I just learned everything I could about it, and I just didn't watch interviews of musicians. I was watching business interviews about the music industry and reading about different stories and deals and things like that. So then I was like, you know what? I think I can do this podcast thing, and I really think I can make it something. And I've always been told that I'm a pretty good speaker, so let me try this. And it did well. I had a plan. It did well. It took off.
And your podcast was all for culture?
All for the culture.
All for the culture, right?
Yes. Music podcast, we interview mostly rappers, but I was trying to transition to just music in general, like even R&B and things like that, and even the neo pop that's out now and stuff like that.
But it's absolutely inspiring that you went through so much, and like you said, I think that's so authentic for you to say it wasn't a moment. It wasn't a moment that kind of snapped you out, but it was this learning as you're going through it, and eventually just slowly that ounce of, you know what, I can do this. Okay, let me try the next step.
Yeah.
I mean, that itself is very inspiring.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I was a little surprised at the fact that like I started it, but I don't know. I was kind of like, when I remember like 6 months later, I was at the podcast studio and I looked and I'm like, you actually followed through with this thing. It's
What a proud
going.
moment.
Yeah, it was cool, and that studio was so much fun. We had so much fun in there, and what happened was I outgrew this city, and I had a talk with a couple other interviewers that did what I did, that were a lot bigger than me in different cities, and they were like, "Dude, you gotta travel. You gotta travel." So at this time with the podcast, early on, you're not making money. You don't have advertisers. You don't have a network that's helping you out. So it was, okay, well, how are you guys traveling? How did you guys travel early on? Well, we slept in a car. Well, we slept 6 to a room. Well, we got a cheap $30. I was like, I can't. My health, I can't do that. I got to take an assistant. That's really expensive. So I was basically finagling a way for that. I can get artists down here really cheap, put them up. I had a hotel plug from one of my friends who worked at a hotel. It was really, really cheap. So I started bringing them down. But with the fact of not traveling, I was like, okay, I need to rearrange and find a better way to do this. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk to a lot of up and coming artists or brand new artists, especially in the hip hop industry, because to get views and to get things, you have to talk about a lot of controversy and nonsense that I, as a 33-year-old man, don't want to be putting out there to get the views that I needed. So I was like, okay, I can get to bigger artists because I have the money to throw a concert. Let me just pay them to come to the city. They get money, I get money, and I can put an interview in the contract that you have to do an interview, and it looks better because I have 12,000 subscribers. I got millions of views. They're like, oh, okay, it's not nobody. It's not huge, but it's not nobody, and it worked for a couple interviews. But the second interview we did, the second concert we did, it was a fight. I didn't have good partners. I had partners who were only about making money, not building a brand name.
Those were further lemons in your life.
Yeah.
You're working with these partnerships that you trusted these friends or your coworkers,
Mm-hmm.
and you had the vision or brain strategy of bringing artists to Houston instead of your travel restrictions.
Yeah.
You bring them in for a concert,
Yeah.
and you interview them, and they're on your podcast.
Yeah.
And on your podcast, you had the second one, and then you realize
Yeah.
these partners were in it just for financial gains and not
Yeah.
towards aligning towards your long-term vision and growth.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so there was very, very little security, and there was a fight that broke out, and there was, I heard there was a gun guy that got pulled, and that the next morning we woke up and we said, what the hell are we doing? This is not us. We're not gonna be able to sleep at night if somebody gets hurt at one of our shows. So we were like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's look at this again. And in that time, we threw a concert October. That concert happened October before COVID. By the time we stepped back to the plate, COVID had hit. So I said, okay, well, that's over for right now. And we haven't got back to it. I plan to, but right now I'm just so busy with everything else and heavily invested into the barbershop that it's there, it's in my mind, and it's not going anywhere, and I'm gonna do it. It's just you got to put things in perspective and in the back burner sometimes. So we kept all for the culture going. It's a recording studio now. My business partner here runs it, and he is the sound engineer. He went to school for it and everything. So if you guys ever need any studio time out there, come see us, and you'll get the best quality sound and best prices over there too.
That's awesome. Kunal, we're going to talk more about what you're doing with your entrepreneurial venture. And we're going to take a quick break, guys. This is Lemonade with the Seth Brothers. And before you guys go, our studio phone here is 1-888 749-1035. I think I said it very nice and slow this time.
This time you did, Smita Singh.
Guys, call us at 1-888 749-1035, and we are here with Kunal Khorana. We're going to talk about what he did next in his entrepreneurial venture as he's working with his studio and stuff. So guys, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show, Lemonade with the Seth Brothers. When life throws you lemons, what do? Make lemonade. This is your host, Kunal, with my co-host, Smita, and we have a guest, Kunal Khorana, over here at the show. The last break, before we went on the break, Kunal was sharing with us his story when he was a young adult, when he was just in 5th grade, found some complexities just by chance, where he had medical issues with his kidney, and story is where went to the hospital, got checked out, and there were some complications. 8th grade, his kidney failed. Then his mother transplanted donated a kidney to Kunal Khorana, and that was good for maybe about a year and a half, but that kidney also failed. Then he went for further medical treatments, more complications, and over the year, there was never a straight road for success, and Kunal Khorana went through a lot of adversities, mindset, which was not positive, challenges, but he kept going over and over again. Every lemon that was thrown at him, he got out of that. He has a passion for influencing people. When he was getting his medical treatment in the hospital, he would listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of interviews, and that inspired him that, I can be at home, start my own podcast, interview people, and he has a passion for music. So currently, Kunal Khorana runs multiple businesses in Houston. And in this next episode right now, we're going to unfold and have Kunal share with us. He has a music studio. He has a hairdressing salon and whatever else. Kunal, share with us your entrepreneurial journey with all the adversities you had, with all the lemons thrown at you. How do you stay engaged? How do you stay out there positive, influencing younger kids in the market?
Because I understand, I think I understand hope. And I'd say this a lot, is you can't do anything in life if there's no hope. If there's no hope inside of you of like, if I put my attention to this and I put my energy in myself, I can make something of it. And I was a person with no hope for a while. So that's why I like to go and talk to. I haven't even really spoke to the kids at my school because there's less no hope over there than there is in these other low income areas, these poverty areas where I go speak at, because I meet kids nonstop that just don't believe that they have the resources or anything to make something of themselves. And I think when I'm able to talk to them and tell them my story, they realize that, okay, I have it bad, but there are people that have it bad too, and they were able to come out of it and make something of themselves. And especially when they are healthy, they like, okay, and I have the main resource, which is my body and my function and my mind. So that's kind of why.
So you go to schools, meet with kids, uplift them. In fact, maybe a year or 2 years back, you reached out to Smita, who's part of Fort Bend ISD. She's involved over there. And you reached out to her so that you were able to come in and speak to kids in school. And unfortunately, COVID-19 happened where outside resources were not brought in.
Yeah.
That was a journey connection with Smita. But share with us an incident talking to kids when you were uplifting them. And again, you listen to their stories, their challenges, their lemons, and then you share your story. Share with us the reaction that kids get when they look at, wow, if Kunal Khorana can do it and be positive, why can't I?
Man, it's been all over. I had one girl that I think her father had just started having kidney. She was just crying. Then I've had young kids that come up to me and are so smart and just full of so many questions that I was not at that time. And so you get people like that. Then you get people that hear the story and just want to know more about what happened. They're interested in the actual story. And a lot of kids just come and let me know, like, I got something from this. And in whatever way they do that, whatever way they say that as a young person, I hear a lot of, like, I got something from this. And they also love it because when I'm able to add that music component, that music industry component, that interviewing this musician and that musician, they love it. They're just so happy and thanks.
So you connect the chords to people through music.
Yeah.
I love it. And so, I mean, it's so inspiring how you're giving back to the community, Kunal, because, it's one thing to go through adversity like you did, and it's commendable how you've come out of it and you're able to build a life of your own. But now, eventually, you giving back. And like Kunal had mentioned, we had connected, as when you wanted to come over to our school to speak. And absolutely, I mean, I can't even imagine what kids that are at impressionable age. There are a lot of, like you said, you go to schools that are low-income schools, but even schools that are maybe in not the low-income neighborhoods, they haven't seen such adversity, perhaps. They're not, they don't see it in person, but for you to be able to be there and create an impact, that is true leadership, because you're not shy of giving back and telling them that, hey, I was on the fentanyl for so long. I was depressed. I still got out of it. Very, very inspiring.
Yeah.
So talk to us, Kunal. Tell us about your barbershop. Tell us what your future plans are. What is your vision? Where are you taking this?
So, around the time my niece was born, she's 3 now, I was like, I have property. I have, that to pass on, but I really would like a functioning business for whatever the future generation, whether it be my brother's kids, my cousin's kids, whatever, for them to, if they would like, have a place to work out of, have a place to see how it functions. And, if there's hopefully, God willing, there's 10, 20 of them and they can take over, right? So that's why I started the barbershop. It was 2 years ago now, I think. I found out about Diesel Barbershop, which is a men's barbershop. It's you walk in, you get a free beer, free soda. There's video arcade games. It's a very man cave type of feel. It's a full service barbershop. It's not a super cuts or something where it's just a cut shop. We do straight razor shave, electric razor, waxings, everything.
What part of town is
Sugarland? Mine is in Sugarland, but there's some in Katy. There's it's a franchise. I invested in a franchise, so one in Westview, there's a few in Katy, and then there's mine in Sugarland in Riverstone. And
The
so,
one in Riverstone Town Center where you have the Kroger? Is
yeah,
that-
yeah.
Got it.
Right by the Yoga
Funny
6.
story. This is COVID time. Somebody I know really well went to that location to get a haircut, and at that time they would take your contact information and stay in touch with you. And maybe 3 days later, somebody from the store, it may have been you, called my friend. And at first, when he got the call that someone's calling from Diesel's, hair salon, he thought, "Oh shoot, did somebody get COVID over there? That they're calling me to check on me?"
Yeah.
And his heartbeat stopped.
I remember this call.
And actually, it was you. He did share with me that the owner or the franchise owner called me up, and Kunal, my name is also Kunal. He said, I thought I had got COVID. But then he went and talked to me, asked my experience, and that was moving, right?
Yeah.
Because what you did was took the time to call customers when they came to your store to get some hair service done, call them back and check on them and to speak with them. And this is what most business owners don't do.
Yeah.
They seek an opportunity to engage with the clients when they don't have business, when they need business. But when the transaction closes, are you calling them back again and making sure they had a great experience at your store? No, most people don't do that. So it's funny you share with me that's your store, and I remember my
Yes.
friend Shubham sharing with me,
Yeah.
and that's funny. So you own that one, you own a few more.
I only own one right now.
You own
The other
one.
ones I don't own. Those are owned by other people.
So you
Yeah, I
took
only
the
own one right
franchise,
now.
but you had the franchise for the one in Sugar.
Sugarland, yeah.
So share with us. You said you come in. It's it's great experience. It's full service
Yeah,
salon.
yeah.
You get something to drink, arcade. How do your customers feel? Do you actually sit at a location, Kunal, or where are you at?
Yeah. I'm there all the time, every day. I'm usually on Saturdays, Sundays, Fridays. I'm in the front talking to clients, getting to know them. I really, really go out of my way to make sure that I'm meeting a lot of my clients. I'm talking to a lot of them, and we had to open in the middle of the pandemic. We had to open, so that was another big lemonade, because if that, like, just looking at diesel numbers across the board, if the business was substantially affected, by looking at the numbers. And so I said, shoot, I got to find a way to add value for free. I have to find a way to give it that extra oomph right now with what's going on. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got the idea from watching Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V.
Yep.
I've actually met him, and I was watching him, and I hadn't watched him in a long time. And when I opened the business, it just, in my head, it was just like, I had heard him say that he used to do that for his wine library business. And so I was like, you know what? I like that idea, and I'm good at that. I'm good at talking to customers, calling customers, and getting them to like the business even more, right? And of course, the story helps. The issues help, because they look and they're like, wow, you open this shop or whatever. And like my sister-in-law always tells me, hey, use it. You lived it. You're not lying. You're not making up things. Live it. Use it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call every new client that comes in, ask them how their experience was. And if it's bad, I can flip them around and say, hey, look, we're a brand new shop. I'll go ahead and cover your cost of your next haircut. Come in, give it a try again. I'll make sure you get the right stuff, whatever you need. And if you still don't like it, then fine. But if you like it, then you come back being a paying customer. And I turned quite a few people back. Not quite a few. I would say about 5 people back that way.
Incredible.
Very nice.
Do you mind sharing the address of your location?
18921 University Boulevard, Suite 910, Sugarland, Texas 77479. We are in Riverstone by the Yoga 6 and Mod Pizza and Kroger's.
For those of you guys watching on Facebook Live and on the radio, listening while you're driving home or sitting at home, kabhi na kabhi to baal katane hai na? So when you want to get a haircut, where you going to go? You're going to go to Kunal's store in Sugarland, in Riverstone, which is by Diesel, Diesel. And he personally runs a business. He has employees who take care of the customers. But the fact that he takes the time and effort to engage, follow up, and find what his store or his employees could be doing better, bring them back on, is true testament of someone who's entrepreneurial. I mean, this is phenomenal. So I had
Yes.
no idea you were the
Thank
same
you.
person
Thank
that
you.
called my friend.
Thank you.
You
But,
mentioned
you
about
know-
your recording studio.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
When you come back, we talk about your recording studio
Okay.
and how people can reach out. Does that sound good?
Good.
Guys, this is Lemonade with the Seth brothers. We have Kunal Khorana over here sharing a story. We'll be back in a minute or two after these quick messages. Lemonade with the Seth brothers. Welcome back to the show, Lemonade with the Seth brothers. When life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. We are at the studio over here with our guest, Kunal Khorana, who has been sharing his story, adversities, challenges, mostly medical related, and over the years, how he's transformed from being someone who was handicapped and was restrained from doing things to finding an inspiration. He currently runs multiple businesses. One of them is a hair salon in the heart of Sugarland in Riverstone. Store is called Diesel. And he strives for excellence by engaging with his customers after they have left the store, calling them, asking for feedback, and finding room for improvement. He also has a recording studio. So now we're going to talk about that. Kunal, share with us
Okay.
your passion for music and your recording studio. Where is that located?
That is also, well, that's in Stafford on Murphy. And just one room, one front room, one back room. We have a vocal booth. We have everything you need to make a professional recording that can be on the radio. The love for music, just honestly, it came because that's what I used when I was sick. I would listen to a lot of the hip hop artists, and they would talk a lot about, at that time, in the early 2000s and late 90s and things like that, it was a lot of music about personal experiences, life struggles, and things like that. So, one, I could apply a lot of what they were talking about to my life, but also when you just hear someone else going through something and they're telling how they feel about it and what they're experiencing, it helped me. It was an escape. It was an escape. So I just fell in love over time. Just fell in love. Started just trying different things. I was never really musically like, oh, I can write a song, or I was decent at writing. I could not make beats or do anything like that. So I said, okay, well, what can I do? So did the interviews, like I said, and then we just went into the studio, and I said, you know what? I'm a businessman. I have a young man around me who's younger than me, and I see him putting in the effort. I see him putting in the time. I see him going to school. I see him running around the city, working at different studios. Why don't we just do something ourselves? I have the fund to be able to do it for that. It's not a large, crazy investment. It was paying for itself within a month because he had already built up the connections around the city. That was one thing we saw early, was that, look, he'd been around the whole city. He has all the connections. It's not going to take long. You're not going to have to put money into it multiple times. It was literally paying for itself within the first month. And I said, you know what? I'm not a leader, and I'm not a person that can mentor people if I'm not willing to put money behind someone that is taking it seriously, and that is someone that really wants to elevate their position and just their entrepreneurial endeavors, everything. I can't let this pass and not do it. And when I brought that to my father, he was like, shoot, I agree with you 100%. And that's who I got it from. That was my dad. I've seen my dad do that countless times with people. So when I went to, he's like, I'll help you invest if need be. Don't worry about it. And
Much of that support.
and let me tell you something just about that. My dad passed in October. He made sure I had the money.
Wow.
And I didn't open it till 2 months after he passed. He passed in October, and I think December, January, we opened up the studio. And he had made sure.
Never look
Wow.
back. Your dad left a blessing and also the financial backing for you to follow your dream.
Yeah.
And he allowed you to follow the dream because he said, I got your back.
Yeah.
And after he passed away, like you shared, there was another lemon. And you keep making lemon.
Yes,
I mean,
Kunal, this
incredible.
is yes.
Yeah,
I mean, your
yeah.
story is so heart touching. Really, it's incredible what you're doing on a daily basis and how you're moving forward. It's absolutely incredible. But Kunal, tell us, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you for you to be a mentor, maybe your studio, or even for you to speak.
Yeah.
I think that's really a powerful way to spread your message and influence people in the right way, is to go out and speak at school. So if there's anybody out there listening, how can they reach out to you?
Well, social media is always the best. I'm on my Instagram is Kunal Kunal AFTC, all for the culture. So AFTC. You can reach out to me there. You can reach out to the studio page if that's you want to work in the studio as an intern or want to learn the music game. That's AFTC Studios. You can reach me there. Or I mean, I'm okay if anybody wants to shoot me a text. 832-606-4994. Go ahead. I'm open to it.
Can you repeat that again really quickly?
832-606
4994.
4994. That's your cell number, all right?
One thing I do want to just throw out there, since we were talking about diesel, I need all of the Indian folks in Riverstone, Sugarland to come support the barbershop. I am having a difficult time with our people because the older folks do not want to spend the money. They want the $10, $15 haircut. When you come to us, there is a big difference. First of all, you won't leave with a bad haircut. I promise you that. I'll pay for your haircut. If you truly are upset, I will pay for your haircut because I'm that confident in our stylist. That's the first and foremost. Number one, when you come, we don't just do a haircut. So if you come and say, I just want a haircut, you can get that, but you're still paying for the full service. And the service is a haircut, a back of the neck shave with a hot towel and oil and lather. It is a hot towel face treatment on your face. It is a shampoo and scalp massage. And it is a shampoo and scalp massage and a back massage. That is starting at $35. And for most men, if they get a fade, depending on the fade, it can go $35, $40. That is not that unreasonable. And a lot of times people, like one of my friends, he said to me, based on what he's not Indian, he said, based on what I know about Indian people, I thought all the Indian people would be coming here, and isn't that the Indian way of supporting each other? And I said, yeah, it is, but these older Indian folks just were culturally taught to spend money differently. And that was a big lesson I learned in business, was that, income level is not just enough to where you put your business, it's also what makes up that income level and how we're culturally taught to spend money differently. But I need all of the Indian folks in Sugarland, old, young, please, and not just for one session. If you come one session and you love it, please come back again. You will leave happy. Your haircut will be fresh. You will leave looking better, feeling better. And for the guys, the wife will like you a little bit better. I promise. Okay?
Here's where this, Kunal, I mean, you having the entrepreneurial mindset and what you do is inspirational. And it's a shame on me. I mean, I live in Riverstone, but I do not know the story behind your store. And here's what it is. We're going to donate $1,000 to your store this evening or tomorrow morning. And you can give those haircuts where you want to give. And that's done. Because I feel, a little bit obligated. Not that because we are of the same ethnic background, but I live in Riverstone. I drive by the store all the time. They're not know the story. And what moves me is connecting with people at a personal level. And this connection today, I mean, people watching on Facebook Live or radio, they do what they do. But whatever we can do.
Am I getting punked?
No, you're not.
Not at all.
Come on. I would not say that on live radio if I was.
Well, thank you so much.
I will
Thank you
make sure
so
that
much.
check is coming
No,
to you.
Thank you so
question
much.
about that.
Thank you
That's
so
the
much.
least we can do. And here's what we're going to do. We sell a lot of homes in Sugarland and Riverstone area. I'll work with you. We'll figure out a strategy for giving maybe a closing gift to a client.
Great.
Who closes on the home.
Yeah.
Let's get a nice haircut.
We can put together a package and whatever we can do. And definitely. Because we opened up during the pandemic, and for the first year, the labor market has been horrible. So we were only 2 stylists, 3 stylists, and we're getting up more, but we were never able to, we haven't been able to grow. We've been able to stay where we need to be, but because of the labor market and because of in COVID, why would you market? Nobody's coming out.
Right.
So now we're getting into the real marketing push. So that'll be a big help. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. That's an
Thank you so much.
Your story has inspired me, inspired Smita, the listeners over here, and you shared your personal cell phone number, 832-606-4994. If you're listening to the radio today or watching us live on Facebook, connect with Kunal Khorana, local Sugarland resident, entrepreneur, business owner, has a hair salon in Riverstone,
studio.
has a recording studio in Stafford, right next to Sugar area. He's an inspiration. You have people that you know of who are going through medical issues or are not positive or depressed. Get them to spend some time with Kunal Khorana, and he can change people's lives. He's done that for thousands of people all around the country. Kunal Khorana, it was so amazing listening to your lemons in life.
Thank you.
And how you made those lemons into lemonade. And you continue doing that. I'm super grateful that we got this platform of Hum FM to engage people like yourself, because I
Thank
don't
you.
know who you are,
Yeah,
but now
to bring out your
we
story.
bonded for life, man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
brother.
you, thank you. And I just got a text message. So if anybody is looking for a kidney doctor in the Sugarland area, go and check out Dr. Ritesh Mathur. He is my cousin.
Absolutely.
He is the best. He's not the doctor who gave me the drug. I want to clarify. He's not the doctor.
He's a
that
good
gave me the
doctor.
drug. He's a
He's
good
an
doctor.
amazing
He's a good
doctor.
doctor.
He's a very dear
but
personal
now,
friend.
Now,
Yeah.
hopefully, he'll come and visit my barber shop more and put some more money behind it, right?
He has to go from
cool.
Telfair to Riverstone, so we're gonna have to make him drive. But yes, but thank you so
Yes,
much, Kunal.
thank
This
you.
has been an
Thank you.
absolutely phenomenal, amazing, inspirational story
Thank
that you've
you.
shared with us. I know for a fact that everybody that's listening, who is going to be listening, is definitely going to be blown away. And I mean, you're a podcaster, you're a speaker, you're an entrepreneur. I mean, kudos to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
so much for
appreciate it.
coming on the Seth Brothers
Thank you guys
Lemonade
for
with the
having
Seth
me.
Brothers.
Yep.
Guys,
Thank
that
you
was
guys for
Kunal
having me.
Khorana. We heard a story. Stay tuned. When we come back,